When I picked up the phone to ask my son Max when his wedding would be, my daughter-in-law Lena looked me right in the eye and said with a chilling smile, "Oh, we already got married yesterday. We only invited special people." The words hit me like a bucket of ice water. Special people. I, who for 3 years had paid their monthly rent of $500, bought every piece of furniture in their house, and filled their refrigerator when they had nothing to eat. I was not a special person. I stood there in the living room of my own house, holding the phone as if it weighed 1,000 pounds, watching my son avoid my gaze while Lena made herself comfortable on the sofa I had bought for them. The pale pink dress I had picked out for her wedding hung uselessly in my closet, along with the new shoes and the illusion of being part of the most important day of my only son's life. Close up on an open closet door, revealing a hanging pink wedding dress and shiny shoes. Dust motes in air. Foreground, woman's hand clutches fabric sadly. Faded background of empty living room with scattered invitation notes. Emotional realism. Soft focus on dress with warm sepia tones turning cold. All of that collapsed in a second with those 4 poisoned words. Only special people. Max finally lifted his gaze and said in a rehearsed-sounding voice, "Mom, it was an intimate thing. Very small, just the 2 of us and the witnesses. But I knew it was a lie. I saw the photos on social media. I saw Lena's parents proudly posing next to the bride and groom. I saw her siblings toasting with champagne. I saw Lena's white dress, which I had helped finance with the $800 I had given her last month for her personal expenses. I saw everything I wasn't supposed to see." A week later, exactly 7 days after that humiliation, Lena called me with a completely different voice. She was no longer the confident woman who had excluded me from her wedding. Now she sounded desperate, almost pleading. "Renata, the rent is overdue. The landlord is pressuring us and says, if we don't pay this week, he will kick us out. You forgot to make the transfer." Her voice trembled slightly as if the world were ending. I was silent for a few seconds, remembering all the times I had run to the bank. And now, after they had excluded me, "Lena," I said with a calm that surprised even me, "didn't I warn you that I only help special people?" The silence on the other end of the line was so deep that I could hear my own heart beating. For the first time in years, it was not I who was trembling, but her. "Renee, I don't understand," she stammered. "We were always special to you. You're like a second mom to me." Lies. All lies. That night after I hung up, I sat on my bed and cried. But they weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of anger, of accumulated frustration. I cried for all the times they made me feel that my love was a burden. I cried for the foolish mother I had been. When I woke up the next morning, something inside me had changed. It was not just the pain of betrayal. It was something deeper, colder. I stood up and looked at myself in the bathroom mirror, the same tired eyes as always, but there was something else in my gaze, a hardness I didn't recognize. I went to the kitchen and made coffee, but this time I didn't think about calling Max. For the first time in a long time, I was my own first concern. I took out my checkbook, my bank statements, and started to do the math. Monthly rent of $500 multiplied by 36 months was $18,000. $33,400. That was the exact sum of my generosity. $33,400 I had wasted from my husband's inheritance. All that money thrown out the window. The phone rang and I saw Max's name. Normally, my heart would have pounded, but this time I let it ring. Then a text came from Max. "Mom, please answer." I deleted the message without replying. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I decided to go for a walk. I walked past the park where I had often taken Max as a child. I remembered that sweet boy who hugged me tight. When had he become this man who treated me like an ATM with feelings? When did I start confusing love with money? At the bank, I stopped in front of the door. The branch manager, Mr. Klein, saw me. "I need to cancel the automatic transfers." He looked at me surprised. What happened is that I finally opened my eyes. While Mr. Klein processed the cancellations, my phone didn't stop ringing. I turned the phone off completely. Mrs. Richter, I hope you're not being pressured. His words touched me deeply. This man showed more genuine concern than my own son. I'm not being pressured. I have finally stopped pressuring myself. When I left the bank, I felt strangely light. When I got home, I found 3 cars parked. I could see movement inside my house. My blood ran cold. They had keys. I took a deep breath before opening the door. It was time for the first real confrontation of my new life. I opened the door. Max was sitting on my sofa. Lena was pacing. An older man going through papers on my dining table. My papers. What is happening here? All 3 looked at me as if I were the intruder. Renate, thank God, Mr. Fisher is from the law firm about your situation. My situation? What situation? I'm doing perfectly fine. Mom, we went to the bank. You canceled all the transfers, blocked our access. Mrs. Richter, I am Dr. Fisher, concerned about your mental well-being. I didn't shake his hand. Instead, collected all my documents. These are my private papers. You have no right. We're worried about you. Your behavior? Strange. You might need professional help. Renate, honey. Loneliness. Confusion. Normal at your age. I am not confused. You're going to leave my house right now. Your children have a right to intervene. Documented concerning behaviors. Concerning behaviors. The laugh was hoarse. Like what? Deciding my money belongs to me? No longer finance. Who treat me like trash? We never treated you badly. Everything you have will belong to us one day. Speeding up the process. There was the naked truth. Out. All 3 of you get out. Mom, we can't. Obligations. You can't cut us off. I can't? Who says? For years, I paid rent not in my name. I threw the folder into the trash. You can't do this. We were counting on you. Obligations based on my money, not my well-being. Max, this is going to end badly. Alone. Max, I am already alone, by my own choice. As I closed the door, the most beautiful silence. That night, I planned like a general. Lawyer Weber, elder abuse. Documented $33,400. Changed locks, new life. Trial 1, house sold, Europe traveled. True love has no price. I'm Renate, 72, protecting myself. What would you do?